Good morning, team and family. My name is Devon Cash. I'm a senior at Episcopal High School in Bel Air, Texas. I'm also a founding member of KIPP Liberation College Preparatory, KLCP. Thank you, somebody got it. We're smooth. My most difficult day at KIPP was my first day at KIPP Liberation College Preparatory in June of 2006. It was the beginning of summer school, as it was called. And having come from the public education system, I knew that summer school was for one of two types of students: those that were extremely bright and those who weren't so bright, which is okay because we all have our strengths and weaknesses. But what I knew for certain was that I didn't fall on either side of this spectrum. I mean, I was a good thinker and I was a hard worker, but by no means was I committed to spending my summer learning. Because of this, I was a little hesitant about this summer school. But this experience was different. Here we were, 60 kids on the second floor of a church building in 3rd Ward, Houston, Texas. We were kids of all different shapes, sizes, and colors. Well, not too many colors, but you get the point. We were doing strange things. We were singing, and we were laughing, and we were chanting. Typical KIPP stuff I'd come to find out very quickly. Because of this, KIPP didn't strike me as having a traditional approach to education. Well, here comes the difficult part. My mom and I didn't know that I was now enrolled in a school. I guess that's why they say read the fine print. Initially, we thought KIPP was just a summer experience. It's amazing and even funny looking back on my predicament. I didn't know that I was enrolled in a school that emphasized chants and creeds. I didn't know that I had a new team and family. And I didn't know 7 years ago that I was committing myself to success by going to college next year. I could have discussed a lot of things like my struggles with my teammates, my struggles with my teachers, or even my own personal struggles. However, I soon realized that all those difficulties were simply a part of the journey, a hard journey, but a beautiful one. And when thinking about it, I knew the challenge, the true challenge, was in taking that first step. Prior to KIPP, I was at a great school in a diverse and well-to-do area in Houston. Was my mother going to let me return to the place where my grandparents had lived and she was raised? Was I going to risk attending a school without a permanent campus in a community stricken with poverty? Not knowing those outcomes, my mother and I had to rise to the challenge. And all I did was find the resolve to take the first step. Like Robert Frost, one of my favorite and most highly quoted poets, I had two roads before me. And like Robert, taking the first step down the road of my choice really has made all the difference. From that moment, when I took my first step, I had committed myself to KIPP and what it promised me. KIPP promised me a new type of education, a life education, so to speak. It's always wonderful to discuss the broad issues of economics, society, and education. However, Liberation provided us with the insight that was impactful to our circumstances. We weren't simply discussing the civil rights movement in Mr. Johnson's class. Rather, we were weighing its successes and failures, thinking about our grandparents who lived in the 1960s, and even protesting as sixth graders on behalf of the boys in Jenna, Louisiana. We were being the changes that the world needed to see. We were doing new things. And it reminds me of a wise verse that says, "Behold, behold, I'm doing a new thing. Don't you perceive it?" Ultimately, our journeys and our challenges, our miseducation and our re-education are all new things that we must adjust to in life. The key, though, is to be aware, to perceive that change, and to rise to the challenge by taking the first step. In conclusion, that first step has taken me many places, like the kid-friendly Las Vegas, Nevada, for instance. And KIPP has allowed me many opportunities, and for that I am grateful. Thank you so much.